All right, Shalom. This is Gamali Island of Great Millstone, Atlanta. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, it's a quick lesson, and this is going to be, I don't quite have a title. Lord willing, one comes to me, but I did want to chime in on, it's a few days old by now, but I wanted to do a response regarding the whole Sakari, Alizé, I'll say freak scandal, but one thing that I did want to touch on regarding that whole thing, and I'm not going to go into detail. I mean, if you're in the Israelite world in any type of way, you should know about it. All right. Because he's a very popular figure within the world of Israel. All right. And like I said, I'm not going to go into the details and, my personal opinions on the matter. I mean, anyone's opinion, if they're in their right mind, will be the same. But one thing that I did want to speak on regarding that is if you watch the video of Alizé's response, he talked about how his woman, I'll say this, he claimed that, he wasn't into those sort of things. And he said that, it all stemmed from a fantasy of his woman wanting to dominate him. And, the first thing that came to mind for me when I heard that was, hey, well, all sin, of course it points back to a so-called woman. Of course it points back to a woman, because that's where all sin comes from. This was the first precept that came to mind. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus 25 and 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. All right, and that much I can believe as far as that whole, scandal, for lack of a better term, the whole Sakari thing. That much I can believe is that the whole thing stemmed from something his woman, wanted or was into, and because he claimed that, his woman basically wanted to do like a role reversal, and she is, she will be the dominant one. All right, which is going way off, because let's get this. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, or YAHAWASHI, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of YAHAWASHI is Yahawah. Now, key point here being is that the head of the woman is the man. All right, so the man is the head of the woman. All right, so you are you are always going to be the dominant one. You're always going to be the leader. If a woman comes to you and says, I want to do this. No, you as the leader, you as the head of that woman, you're supposed to, shut that down. You're supposed to say, no, I'm not into that, which, he claimed he did. Yeah, I just want to do, claimed, he said he told her he just wanted to be vanilla, which is basically, just basic normal sex. But ultimately, and I'm saying if it was the case where the whole idea stemmed from his woman, and, he said, he shut it down or whatever, but then he, changed his mind, hey, well, he went along with it. He's still guilty for going along with it, despite it being her idea or whatever. It's, he's still going off. You're a grown man. You shouldn't, know better. You know better. You shouldn't submit to, a woman and her wicked ways, because you see where you end up. You see exactly where you end up, because, hey, that whole, like even Apostle Tahar was speaking on it, when you deal with sex, that whole little freaky demon, that can open up different doors. You don't, hey, just, is regular sex not enough? Like the apostle said, hey, because, regular sex, hey, it feels good, man. You ain't got to go above and beyond and do all this. But I say this, like I said, when you got that freaky demon, hey, that you start to explore different things and toys and different, you go to a sex store and you want to do this and try that. And that opens up a box to other things, even homosexuality. There's levels to freakism. Hey, and then there's, they call certain things like a gateway drug. So there's certain things that you may experiment with in the bedroom, and then, next thing you know, that's a gateway into, other things. And that's how spirits work, And also, he also, I think, mentioned porn, that's another gateway. He even said that, He said that in the response video, but, watching porn is a gateway into, different sexual freaky acts and things of that nature, by, viewing certain things and, you being desensitized and whatnot, or, you aren't, you aren't pleased by just normal sex anymore. You got to go, high, you got to keep, and just like with drugs, that's why the whole gateway with certain drugs, you have level 1 drugs, and Esau even classifies different drugs, but you have like level 1 drugs, and then you have like, you got different classes of drugs. But a lot of times, a so-called safer drug, a person will kind of like get hooked on those effects, and it makes them want to experience other drugs, experiment, So it's the same thing. Like I said, porn is one of those ways that can happen. And I'll say this, us being men, shit, man. I don't know what man hasn't, at one point in his life, watched porn. All of us did that. You know what I'm saying? And truthfully speaking, and, even in the truth, brothers may watch certain things. Truthfully speaking, if we're speaking as men, but, hey, it's not really something that you, of course, that's we know why that was made, Okay, and how and who it came and who it comes from. It comes from Esau, the so-called white man, who's the devil. As a matter of fact, it was a small hat. I think it's a small hat that owns and runs that industry and started it, I believe. But like I said, truthfully speaking, we've all, and I believe I speak for majority men that we've all dealt with, a porn, watching porn at some point in your life. All right, but you also realize, like especially when you start to watch it too much, you kind of be thrown off, man. You kind of you kind of go downhill, so to speak. Even performance wise, you begin to, it can kind of almost run into, turn into a addiction, things of that nature. But just harping on the point that certain things can the point being is that, you gotta watch what you putting in your spirit. That's the whole thing. You gotta watch what you putting into your spirit. All right, because that can corrupt you, man. Let's see. There's one that I'm looking for. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Let me see if I can find it. All right, this is one moment. Looking for it. Okay. This is 1 Corinthians 6:18. It says flee. It says flee from sexual immorality. All sins a person commits are outside the body, but whosoever sins sexually sins against their own body. Okay. So this is a good one. And, sexual immorality is something that's, matter of fact, I think it's lasciviousness. Maybe not 18. Let's see. What word is it in the, NIV. Let's see, get what it is in the KJV. Hold on one moment. KJV, it says fornication. Yeah, flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. So that's what that word is right there. Fornication is sexual immorality. Let's get that word, fornication. Oh, look at this. Fornication. So doesn't this word look familiar? Speaking on what we were talking about, porn.
Strong's G 4203. Parnuo. Parnuo.
Parnual. Okay. It says to prostitute one's body to the lust of another, to give oneself to unlawful sexual intercourse. Okay. And it can also mean to be given to idolatry, to worship idols. And that's in a figurative sense. But in this case, what we're talking about is to give oneself to unlawful sexual intercourse. All right. And, well, what's unlawful? First of all, homosexuality, a man being with mankind, as the scriptures say, a woman being with womankind. Also, what else? A man likening himself to a woman. And this is really a blanket thing. A lot of things can fall up under unlawful sexual intercourse. All right. So it's more to it than that. But I'll say this: in this day and age, it's not good. There's so many different, worlds and fetishes and different things within sex that, it's not righteous. Okay. It's not becoming of a man of the Lord, to experiment with, different weird sexual kinks and fetishes, and that's what this guy Alazar did, and like I said, the point being is that it was led, the point of the lesson is, this was something that was led or spearheaded by his woman. So you got to be careful with with bending towards your woman. You gotta be the man, and you have to be have principles. That's one thing as a man, is standing firm on what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. Because what a weak man will do is, bend towards his woman. Oh yeah, she wants this, so let me please her. Because he even said that, I wanted to please her. I think he said something along the lines of that. I wanted to make her. No, man, you gotta. It's not about that, man. What she wants to do is break you. And women respect a man who has, code, who lives by codes and boundaries and morals. Because they can't break you. See? This woman broke him. This woman completely broke him down because, she got with his, well, first of all, he has kids by her. But also, she exposed him. She put the text out there. Why? Because she had no respect for this man. She had zero respect for this guy because she had already broken him. So all that was left to do was just put it out there to the world. Why do you think she would do something like that? Is that indicative of a woman that respects her man? Even, all right, they're broken up. She hates his guts. She despises this guy because they broke up. He cheated. He whatever. There's certain things you don't cross. It's a real level of hate that she, dislike that she had for this guy, and lack of respect, disrespect that she had for this guy. Let's say even if we broke up, if she had any type of respect for this guy, then she would have, just kept that between her and him and the Most High. But ultimately, everything is judgment. So that's why the Lord had this happen. Ultimately it's all spearheaded by the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, first and foremost. But just speaking to the fact that, she, she didn't have respect for this guy. All right. And she went and spoke with, this was off as well. And I'm going to get, one more precept before I close, but this was also off, is that she reached out to, these other, his I guess you could say ops, for lack of a better term, but his ex members, who she knows, he had a level of tension with, and she went to them and gave and exposed the messages to them. So she completely destroyed this dude. That's why you got to be careful. There's a saying. There's no something like oh, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Basically, in other words, a woman who is scorned, she will go above and beyond to destroy you. All right? And that's what you see here. But this would have never happened if this guy wasn't weak. You got to be the man. That's what we teach here at Great Millstone, is to be men. Okay, you are the leader of your woman. You can't let your woman introduce you, you trying to please her and she's introducing you to different things. Or like even the elder said, she trying to put you on to things another nigga like. She did with a previous nigga, and she trying to introduce you to that because that's what she likes. See, this is how demons and spirits, with sex, there's a lot of spirits. Okay, you do open yourself up to a lot of spirits because it is a spiritual. Not only is it a physical, but there is a spiritual aspect to sex. Anyway, I want to get this last precept because this goes into Adam and Eve, all right, which, it wasn't only Adam and Eve in the garden. It was Adam also, when you read the 5th chapter, Adam represented male and female. Because when you read Genesis, pursuant to Genesis 5:2, which I'm not going to get, but you can read. But let's see where I want to go. I want to get 3 and 6, Genesis 3 and 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat. Yeah, because this was basically talking about the woman behaving like heathens and taking on the customs and ideologies of the other nations. All right. Because when you read on down, it says that, point being here too, is that she influenced her husband to eat. All right. And what does that mean, to eat? That means to eat of the philosophy. That word, the eating is allegorical for, taking on the ways and customs of the other nations. All right, because we were the sons of God, and we were only to behave ourselves in righteousness. All right, but Eve caused. That's why when we read the beginning of sin started with Eve. Eve being the weaker vessel, she began to assimilate herself as, with it. She started to assimilate herself with the wicked. And likewise, the man. All right. So that's the importance of, not allowing, Eve to influence you in wickedness. All right. So, like I said, I just wanted to touch on that point, and tie it into this whole Sakari, sexual scandal. But anyway, I wanted to, Lord willing, you edified, giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakwadash. Devil honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.